change with Thomas Partey dropping out, Jorginho coming in. Is that enforced or is that tactical?
No, obviously there are situations obviously during the week and post-match, but we believe that is the best team to start. It's going to be a long match as well, and we need changes and in relation to what the opposition do, so that's how we go.
Spoken a lot about the lack of options in forward areas, so Mikel Merino starts again through the middle. Found it a little bit tougher at the weekend. What have you seen from him that has made you happy with sticking with him as a central striker?
No, it's not just the attacking front, the attacking options, so what we want to generate in relation to what Forest did, which is very different to West Ham, and it wasn't better because we didn't generate enough for him. So hopefully today will be very different.
Tactically tonight, Nottingham Forest defend very deep but have so much pace going forwards. How do you find the balance between the two sides of the game?
Yeah, it's always very tricky because they are really compact, they win a lot of duels and they have great players in transition, but at the same time you have to play with purpose, direction and with the handbrake off to hurt them, because you cannot be thinking just about that fact, but it's something that we have to control, the same with all the direct play, the individual actions that they have, but we have as well.
So, Mikel Merino again, as we touched upon, the
games this season, so the most crosses in the games, and they've lost 2 of them, drawn 2 of them, and only won 1 of them. So it just shows you when they're actually aimlessly crossing the ball, they're not at their best, and their results are a lot worse for it. So what I feel as they've got to do is get back to playing the Arsenal way, the Ødegaards of this world, getting on the ball in dangerous areas, feeding balls through, 1-2s on the edge of the box, and less of the aimless crossing. Now, of course, they've got Moreno up front today. He likes crosses. He scored 1 or 2 against Leicester from crosses. So I'm not saying they can't score, but just less of the aimless crossing and more of the, you know, the well-prepared stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a worry, Steve. It's anytime you speak about Arsenal, you talk about the easy way. They've never signed a striker. I mean, Havertz was their main sort of goal scoring thing. He's out for the season. I think Arteta's tried to sign Watkins, didn't he, in the window. Don't know if that was a serious bid or whatever, but was never going to get him out of Aston Villa, I don't think. I mean, Moreno is decent in the air, but he's not a striker, so he has to adapt to that position. He scored 2 late goals at Leicester. I don't think this is an easy game tonight, I really don't. I think Nottingham Forest at home, we know how they play. They'll be quite compact, and with the pace they have as well on the counter-attack Nottingham Forest, I think they'll create problems for Arsenal. And the other big talking point is obviously Jorginho coming in for Partey, because Gibbs-White is probably the main man for Nottingham Forest, and he plays in that sort of area. So I'm surprised, you know, that he's put him in there instead of Partey. Maybe it's an injury, he's not really said there, Arteta. But again, goals has been a problem, and goals have been a problem all season. I think that's why they're 11 points adrift.
And Raheem Sterling is still a substitute. It was a slight gamble. It's not a gamble that's paid off in any way, shape or form for Arsenal, is it?
No. I mean, he's worth having on the bench, maybe a cameo sort of 15, 20 minutes. Can he do something? Can he unlock a defence? He's still got that ability, of course. But, you know, I've often found when you're really struggling for confidence, starting games is a lot harder. You know, at the end, when teams are tired, when you've got almost a free punch coming off and making a bit of a difference, and that's how I think they should build Raheem Sterling up now over the next 2 or 3 weeks, bringing him on for 15, 20 minutes at a time, and then hopefully get a tune out of him. But so far, it's not been good.
No, James's Park, some great games we've seen these two down the years. It's an 8:15 kick-off, of course, UK time. And let me reaffirm that team news that we alluded to slightly earlier on. Liverpool, Jota is back, and so too Tsimikas. He's preferred to Robertson in that back 4. Curtis Jones drops to the bench as well. But the headline news surrounds Newcastle and their top scorer, 21-goal, Alexander Isak. He is at Anfield, but he's not in the matchday squad. The first Premier League game he's missed since October, when, of course, they didn't win. It was 0-0 away at Newcastle, and Eddie Howe has said that Alexander Isak has a slight groin issue. So that means that Callum Wilson starts a Premier League game for the first time in 10 months. Tonali returns, that's the other change, in place of Lewis Miley. Now, of course, Arne Slot cannot watch from the dugout tonight. Begins his first of the 2-game ban for that red card at Goodison Park, but he is still allowed to talk to us. Here's the pre-match thoughts of the Liverpool boss.
Well, Arne, let's start. It's the first of 2 games that you can't be on the touchline tonight. Your assistant can't be there either. How much harder does that make it for your squad?
Let's wait and see. I think the good thing is that you can be there pre-match, you can be there at half-time. But of course, ideally, I would have been on the line as well. But it's not like this, and yeah, I cannot be on the pitch also when I'm on the line, at the line. So I think the best way to influence the team is always before and at halftime. But it's of course not ideal.
That's to come later, but less than 15 minutes to kick off at the City Ground. Arsenal, the visitors for Nottingham Forest, who've lost 3 of their last 4, but they have won 5 of their last 6 at home. Here's their manager, Nuno.
You said after the game on Sunday that you had to analyse that 11-minute period where Newcastle scored their goals. After analysing it, what did you learn?
That we were unbalanced. That we were totally unbalanced. We made serious mistakes on our balance that allowed Newcastle.
So how do you avoid making those same mistakes, keeping that balance for this evening?
Being balanced, stick to our rules, knowing that sometimes your opponent is stronger than you, that you have to regroup, but be brave with the ball. This is the main idea for the game. We are back at the City Ground. Hope it can help us.
And looking at Arsenal, what do you need to do well this evening if you are going to get a positive result?
So many things. We have to defend well and we have to be brave with the ball.
Wish you the best of luck.
Cheers, thank you, nice to see you.
He's smiling that Nottingham Forest are going to drop out of it. But every week goes by and you think, do you know what, they're hanging in there.
They have lost 3 of their last 4. Have you shown any little chinks of...
I think Nuno hits the nail on the head about the weekend as well. 11 minutes, they conceded 3 goals. It was a mad period for them. And then they were coming back second half really, really strong. And again, could have nicked the point at the end. So he just said the balance wasn't right with the team at the weekend. I think tonight the balance needs to be right against this Arsenal team. But I look at both teams and I really do. And I'm saying this as purely as a neutral. I actually fancy Nottingham Forest to get something tonight. And it might even be a victory. I really look at their team, their squad, especially at home this season. They've been brilliant, really, at home, and I don't think Arsenal are pulling up any trees. So it's a tough game for Arsenal tonight.
Yeah. Well, he obviously liked the way they finished at St James's because he's named the same team.
Yeah, but you can often get that. You can often get, when the game's almost gone, then make a strong late charge. But what happened for part of the first half when they conceded 4 goals and they were all over the place, and they've got form for that as well. Did they concede 7 or something not so long ago, or 5? They certainly conceded a lot of goals only a few weeks ago. I like them. I think they've got a lot of pace going forward. I think they're a better counter-attacking team, if anything. I do like their attack, and obviously Chris Wood is absolutely banging them in at the moment. But I just think that this is almost last chance saloon for Arsenal. They cannot afford, if they've got any lingering hopes of winning this league, they can't afford to drop points anymore, really. So I think that the pressure's on Arsenal. I think that their defence and midfield is very strong. Surely they'll get a chance or 2 against a team that do concede a few goals in recent times. And if they do, I fancy them to shut up shop because I think they've got one of the best defences in the country.
Yeah, and the goalkeeper as well. Been really strong this season.
Both goalkeepers in this game are fantastic.
Raya's been brilliant as well. Yeah. But I'd say it's a tough game. It really is. But again, Nuno, if they can get Champions League, he'll be probably manager of the year, wouldn't he? It's just a phenomenal, come from a relegation really battle last season to now to be competing in the Champions League. Steve's a brilliant season.
The next time we see them will be in the cauldron of the Parc des Princes in the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain. Victorious tonight, Liverpool 2. Newcastle United 0.
Thank you very much, Darren and Ali. A lot of noise inside Anfield tonight. The fans can feel it. They know something special is happening. Unbeaten in 24 Premier League games and 13 points clear at the top of the table after that 2-0 win over Newcastle. And we can hear from the goal scorers now. Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister are with Becky Ives.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Guys, congratulations. Alexis, how are you managing to constantly churn out these performances and results?
Well, thank you very much. I think it's the desire to win trophies. We know that this season we have maybe the opportunity to win some, so we are really happy, working really hard, and hopefully we can keep on going.
Dominic, that's the first time you've scored back-to-back Premier League goals this season. Do you feel like you're playing some of your best football of your career? Come in. I said, do you feel like you're playing some of the best football of your career? It's the first time you scored back-to-back Premier League goals this season.
Yeah, well, it's my second season, so it was not a long time that I had any chance to score twice in a different game. So, no, I'm really happy to have the team. But yeah, as I say, the most important is the team. If I can score even more goals back-to-back, I would be happy. But until we are in the first position of the league, I'm more happy.
Was the timing of your goal crucial? Because Newcastle were just starting to get a little bit of joy going forward, but you whipped it in and stubbed it out.
Yeah, maybe we didn't start the second half as we wanted, but yeah, as you said, it was nice because I like to get to this position. Sometimes I don't get the ball, but this time Mo played it, so really happy for that.
I don't know if you know the Arsenal result, but you're now 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League. At what point do you start to see the light here and think, hang on, this might happen?
Well, after mathematically they have no chance to get us, so yeah, we are really happy that we are 13 points clear, but we will focus on ourselves. Now we have a Champions League coming up, so we will have to focus on this as well. And then, yeah, game by game, we are looking forward to stay in the top.
Does it feel like a luxury to have 7 days off before your next Champions League game?
Yeah, definitely. We need it. We were talking and we were a little bit tired, but this week will be nice to get some rest, some days off, and yeah, thanks to Arne as well.
Are you targeting 3 trophies then this year? You've got Newcastle again in the League Cup final coming up.
When I came to Liverpool, I wanted to win everything in my first season, so I don't like to talk about it. We have to focus, as I said, game by game. First Champions League we have to go through, and then we have a Premier League game in between, and then we have a cup final. So against them, really tough team, really good playing style what they do. So we have to be ready and yeah, focus first in the Champions League, and then yeah, the cup final is coming up as well.
We just said you wanted to win everything coming to Liverpool. How do you feel about winning Player of the Match trophy? Will you take that one? Alexis, would you do the honours for us? Well done, Dominic.
Thank you very much, Becky. Dominic Szoboszlai there saying until it's not mathematically impossible, they are not going to lose focus, but it is starting to look like a procession. You talked about just how focused they are, Rafa. How comfortable were they out there tonight?
I liked the interviews, and I will say, Steve, that when you are winning trophies, yes, then you have the feeling that everybody is involved, everybody is committed, and then it's what they say, they desire to win trophies. Mathematically, still we are there, one game at a time. That is the right message, and that is the right mentality. So you have seen a team that mentally is strong enough. Everybody is working together. Even they talk about days off, and is another plus. So they work with the desire, the mentality, the commitment, the work rate that you need. But also, I will say something in favor of the manager. That is that they know what they have to do. When they have to drop off and defend, they defend. When they have to attack, they attack with numbers. When they have to keep the ball or game management at the end, they were keeping and passing the ball. So you can see a team that has belief that they can win and that they want to win trophies. And at the same time, they know what they have to do because the manager is doing a good job.
Something I prefer or want to do more often, but still one game with this few to go.
And how was your assessment of the way things went from start to finish for your team?
No, I think if you're down the line or at the line, I don't know if you say it in English, but you see even more work effort than you see when you're up there, because then the game looks a bit slower than when you're so close to the players. But again, I saw tremendous work rate from the ones that started, but also the ones that came in. So a great, not only team performance, but a great squad performance, in my opinion.
A totally different way of winning than we saw on Sunday at Manchester City. Is that the best thing about this current run of form? You're finding so many ways to win.
So many. I think the City game was an exception to the games we mostly win. I think this was more the way we've won many games. But yeah, City away, so comfortable. Did they win today as well against Tottenham? Yeah, I'm not surprised about that at all. So they're so comfortable with the ball. You know, if you want to have a chance of winning there, you need to defend. But in every other game, we have more ball possession mostly than any other team. So yeah, different ways of winning. But this one was more similar to all the other ones we had.
What was the message to the players before the game? What was the game plan? What did you set them out to do?
The game plan is always related to what you can expect. But most important thing now was that after Wolves and Everton and a bit after Villa, people started to doubt us a bit, and people talked about, are they in the best run of form, yes or no? So then you have to react to that. And that's always easier, because if people start to question you. 9 out of 10 start to work really hard. But after the City game, everybody was so positive that then 9 out of 10 people start to get really confident and complacent, I think is the way you say it here. But only the ones that want to achieve something, and that is probably 1 out of 10 person, just finds an extra gear to win the next game again as well. So we mainly focused on that. Nice, all the compliments. But be that 1 out of 10 player instead of that 9 out of 10 player.
It's interesting you say that, because there's not many people having any criticisms of your team. Do you hear them more than those praising the team? And do you use it as fuel?
Oh, no. No, I think we got a lot of praise after the City game. But what I said was, before the City game, we had 2 draws and not the best game we've played this season against Wolves. So then we got questioned a bit. And then normal reaction of 8 out of 10 people is, we're going to work even harder. And that's what we saw against City. Then this was a different mental challenge, because people were so positive about us after City, and then 2 days later facing a difficult Newcastle side needs a different kind of mental strength. But again, we showed up.
And the work will go on with PSG, but is there a chance for a little bit of a break now, and will that do the players and you a little bit of good?
I've said many times that most of them have played all 5 games. So before that we had the break, the most of them against Plymouth Argyle. And I would have loved to play this weekend, but then the likes of Virgil and Mo wouldn't have played again as well. Then again, Harvey Elliott and all the ones that need game time would have played. Unfortunately, we don't. So that means for them hardly any playing time, but for the rest it's a good moment to be off for 1 or 2 days and then focus from Saturday onwards fully.
The club brings us players from Kusanov, Omar and Victor. Otherwise we will struggle in this position. Yeah, really pleased for the victory, for the way we played, and especially first half. The second half was more open because we didn't close in the first. So the players in the mindset should be 0-3, 0-4 in the first half, and we could not do it. And we knew that second half, the momentum in this stadium, when they start to push and the people follow, is really, really tough. So, but really pleased for the victory and yeah, for the result we got.
After so many games over so many years, do you still get very frustrated when you see your team's dominant in that opening 20 minutes, could have been 3-4 up, and the chances came and went?
It happened a lot this season. So the game against Spurs, Tottenham in the first leg, and after 15 minutes we should be 2-0, too clear, and we lost 0-4. And in part for our mistakes, we were not absolutely aggressive because they were another level in that term. So it was difficult, but a part of that it happened many times. And Lisboa in Champions League should be 1-3 or 0-3 in the first half. We lost 4-1. So in football, in the boxes make the difference, the quality, and yeah, in the first half we missed it a little bit. But yeah, today, like the end, he was happy. So. And no complaints at all.
Doku in the first half sparkled, didn't he? Is there any area of the game, of his game, that he really needs to work on for you?
Yeah, in the final decision. It's really good in dribbling and he's unstoppable. But after that, like the assist has done to Erling, he has to do it more often.
Can you see it coming? Can you see it coming again? The youngsters you've got coming in, Kushanov and Mamouche you've just brought in. I know he's not a kid, but he's not a veteran either.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, he's the future of this club. So when we have Rico, when we have Kusanov, when we have Josko, when we have Victor, we have Nico, and we have Phil Foden, McAtee, and Savio, and Erling, and Doku, and so they have to be, the next steps for the future.
That's looking way ahead. Immediate, you've got Plymouth at the weekend, and the FA Cup is all important to you now, Pep?
Definitely, always have been. Otherwise, how many semi-finals we got to finals in the last 5-6 years? I think 5 semi-finals we got, or 4 or 5. So it's a FA Cup. So of course it is. So with the team we beat Liverpool, and of course in the result will be better with fresh legs, and after you have long week for before international break, Nottingham Forest and Brighton, 2 contenders, to qualify for the next Champions League edition, and yeah, that's why today it was a really important victory.
Have a performance like this. When a performance like this is not perfect, it's not like pretty, but we suffer a goal with one mistake. In this context, I felt that the team were more calm than certain games, so it was a good thing. We turned things around, we scored twice, we were clearly in control of the game, the possession of the ball. We had the sent off, and then we fight for the 3 points. And then today was a good performance in all the aspects of my team, and also our fans. They were amazing.
How anxious were you when that early goal went in against you, considering how tough you found things at home recently?
I'm more anxious outside the pitch. Inside the pitch, I'm really focused on the game. In there, I'm quite calm all the time. But like I said, I just read what my feeling seeing the team, and I felt that even with that goal, I felt that we were in the game, and that is the most important thing. And when we are in the game, we can win any match.
All three of your goals tonight from set pieces, was that something that you thought that would be effective for you this evening, or was it just the circumstances?
We have to give credit to Carlos, to Emmanuel, to Adélio, to Andreas, because they changed the game with our players. So I remember in the beginning they talk a lot about Carlos and Andreas and the position of them. Today the credit is from them. They win the game for us.
The red card, what was your thoughts on that just before half-time? Patrick Dorgu sent off after a long VAR check.
Yeah, I didn't see the image. I think for me the most important thing is I know my player. He don't want to injure a teammate, and that is a colleague of profession. So that is the most important thing. I didn't see the image, so I have to see it.
And in the end, the winning goal scored by Harry Maguire. He's had his ups and downs here. How pleased are you for him to have had such a decisive say in the game tonight?
For me, it's the same with his age, of his André scoring a goal doesn't matter. But I'm really happy because he's improving. Like I said many times, he's feeling more like a leader again, and he's an important player for us.
Could this be a platform for you now? You've been searching for something to give you a lift.
No. We had this conversation so many days in the past. I'm just focused on the next game. So this is just 3 points. Really important to win at home, to be safer in our position in the league, and to